Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Welcome one. Welcome all. Welcome back. This is MRS, your Wednesday night entertainment. Welcome, everybody, to Season 10, the first race under the lights here in the glitz and the glamour of Las Vegas. Have you missed us? It's only been a couple of weeks, folks, but I'm sure you have. So, welcome, everybody. And we've started the stream a little bit early this time because we're going to do something a little bit different. Joining me before we get into qualifying are our 1 and 2 seeds from last season. Please let me welcome Mr. Jack Rocknian and Tom as well. Good evening, gents. Thank you for joining me. It's an absolute pleasure to have you.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you.
How are we both? Are we both well? Looking forward to this season and getting racing again?
Oh, definitely. How about you, Jack?
Yep. I think the week break has been far too long. Let's get going.
Absolutely. I mean, you both had incredible seasons last season, didn't you, Thomas? Congratulations on the season 9 title. You've changed. You're in the Kick Sauber this season. How are you feeling with new teammate and new team as well? How's your preparation been, and what are your thoughts going into to defend the title as well?
I'm in the lean green fighting machine. It's apprehensive because it's a little bit different to the AlphaTauri, but I'm hopefully going to give them again another run for the money.
I'm sure you're looking forward to this one. And yourself, Jack, how are you thinking? Ready for this one? Are you ready to take the fight back to Thomas and steal the crown?
Oh, definitely. I mean, last season, Tom was faultless. You know, there was not one race, I think, where he was outside the podium. Maybe one if you could find it somewhere. So it's not going to be easy, but I feel like it's going to be a very competitive season, looking at everybody's pace in the practice sessions that we've had. So I'm really looking forward to it. It could be from top to bottom, big fights.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're both right there. And of course, we've got a few different people in this season. Freak, I think, is quite new to us. Lister's starting to race a little bit more as well. And of course, different teammates. So you're thinking like the balance is going to be quite interesting. Is there anybody as well that you're both sort of keeping your eye on other than each other, probably this season?
I think we both know exactly who we're both keeping our eye on. It's clubs. They are. I mean, they were both our teammates last season. We know just how good they are, how intelligent they are with their racing as well. So I think they're going to be a very strong team. But you know, Vexed also with Maundy in the Red Bull and Mike going up to the McLaren as well. He's very quick last season, always on the tail end of the podium or managing to get on it. So there's a lot of people to look out for this season. That's for sure.
Can't count on Ferrari as well. Dom and Max Hunter.
Yeah, I think that's a good call as well. I mean, I'm looking at the list as we look at, and you're right there. I think I can't disagree with either of you. A lot of drivers in there had some fantastic races. Mike, I think, as well, end of last season, he's now in the McLaren. I think that could be someone as well, likes to be in the mix as well. So, absolutely, I think it's going to be a very, very good season. And just before we do get ready and before we do go, just what are your thoughts on this track, the season opener in Vegas?
Cold, slippy. Tyres just not getting up to temperature. It's cold and it's slippy.
Yeah, possibly the most simulated race we could have being, you know, in the UK and being 4 degrees in Vegas. My hands are about as cold as they probably would be if I was in the car. So, yeah, very slippery track. And trying to get those tyres in the right window for both quali and the race will be interesting to see who does it best.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. You both hit the nail on the head, and it is very, very slippy. And those walls are ever present, of course, and of course. So then we've got that risk of the safety car. So the strategy is also key. Have you sort of got anything? And obviously, I don't expect you to give away your secrets on stream, but got anything in the back of your mind that you're thinking, okay, if this happens, you've got something up your sleeves?
3 stop, soft, medium. No, well, it's all planned out. I think we've just got to see what happens. And
there's definitely a couple of ideas, but you're right. It's all about where we qualify. Obviously, still got the tyre rule as well. So,
of course,
it'll be very interesting where we qualify. How close the DRS trains are going to be here, because, like I say, with the shake-up in cars, I think that it's going to be even closer than it was last season. And that's saying something.
Yeah, that's it. I think you're right there, folks. But I think people are looking at like the impatient to get going and get racing under the lights. So I will let you boys get yourselves ready and get yourselves in your parties. And best of luck to you both, not just for tonight, but for the season. And thank you so much for joining me, fellas. And like I say, best of luck.
Thank you very much.
See you on the other side.
Yep. Take care.
Thanks, boys. Good luck. And there we go, folks. So lovely to have our top two there joining us in the party before we start racing. And we're just about there, ready. Everyone's starting to ready up as the countdown timer begins. So we've got the 18-minute qualifying session, followed by 25 laps under the lights of the Las Vegas circuit. Welcome to everybody in the Twitch channel. We've got Vexman in there. We've got Grimo as well, Blood Diamond, and JJC. So that is going to be really good fun. I think that might be deemed to be fair. JJC could be. I could be wrong. Looking for Kick Sauber. So welcome everybody. And here we go, folks. We're on the loading screen now. So yeah, this is it. Season 10. Nice to have a good... Oh, JJ is Dean. Good evening, Dean. Thanks for that, bud. So, yeah, a couple of PC players. GTR, I'd love to have him with us as well. Hunter and Lister Egg. And the rest are PlayStation at this moment. But it is cross-play enabled, as you can see. So anybody watching who does want to join us, please do. There will be a link for the Discord. And we'll love to have you with us and racing. As the countdown timer kicks to us. If anybody wants to share their thoughts on this track, thoughts of their teams, that would be fantastic to have you in the chat with me. But here we are. Qualifying has now started. Let me just set up the graphics for you all so we can see what each driver's doing in qualifying. We have the map as well. The Spider Pig circuit, as it's affectionately known. If anyone's seen the Simpsons movie, I'm sure you'll know exactly what I'm referring to there. But this is a track, as the gents have mentioned, that difficult to get the tyres working, get them in that right operating window, and yeah, difficult one. Sometimes to spot a couple of braking points as well. There's a few at the start of the second sector that can be a little bit tricky. But I'm sure we will see. They had a practice session not long ago, and the times, I must say, were very, very close between a lot of the drivers. So I think this qualifying session is going to be very quick, and I think it's going to be very, very close as well. And, you know, we have got a few favourites. We've got the top two, Liquid Gas, now in a Williams, Thomas in the Kick Sauber, but we've got the V-Carbs, Blood Diamond staying there as he was last season, Grimo joining him. Then the Red Bulls and Monster Vexman, two drivers definitely to watch for. Mike Taylor and Dom, they were Red Bull last season, now swapping teams for Red and Papaya. They're going to be ones to watch out for as well. Freak, that'll be good to see what he can do. And Lister, we saw quick, and so with GTR as well at times last season. So yeah, we've got a good grid definitely there. Of course, it is realistic performance, so the quicker drivers are on the potentially slower cars, or there should be slower cars, and see what they can do to wring the most out of them. And this, with these long straights going down the Las Vegas Strip, is Dom on his outlap. So this is the one that drivers, where the power is, that can really pay in, and the setups are going to be very key here. It's sort of a low-ish downforce track, but rear traction, as they mentioned, with trying to get the temperature in the tyres is going to be crucial for these people to get the power down early, not have the rear spin up, not have the rear slide, because, as I mentioned, the walls are ever present around here. As we're just following Dom, he's the first one on a fast lap. Nice clear track ahead of him. Stand up very nicely as Dommy's on a medium lap, but we do see a lot of drivers now doing 2 warm-up laps. Freak is on the medium tyres. Dean selected the hards at this moment in time. So that's going to be interesting to see how he gets on in this qualifying session. A lot of drivers are using the soft tyres, and of course the top, well, 25% I think it is, have to use the tyres they set their fastest qualifying lap on for the start of the race. And we saw, I think it was Mexico last season, towards the end of the season, that we saw a little bit of difference for that. And I think Jack set his fastest time on the mediums, so he was able to start that. And we've seen Thomas do it as well. Blood Diamond's done it a few times last season where they've done an alternate strategy and they've been able to use the mediums at the start of the race and not necessarily be hampered by the soft compounds where the wear is exceptionally high and they have to pit a little bit early. We will do an onboard lap at some point. Ooh, as Freak struggling under braking now. I call it the front hoof or the trotter. That's part of the track. And he's going up the neck towards the snout of the pig. And I think this track has kind of grown on people as they've sort of become accustomed to it. It was the first times are coming in. Blood Diamond with a 32.3 on his first lap. Very shortly we're going to see times coming thick and fast, but it's going to be interesting from Freak. He's on the medium tyres. Dean has gone out on the hard tyres, so that's going to be interesting to see how much fuel he's used and put in to get those hards up to an operating temperature, to be able to have the confidence in them and be able to get the grip that he needs to set a fast lap. And there was a kick there. I'm not sure if that was Dean or it might have been Thomas on his lap, taking a little bit of the inside curb there, so that may have invalidated his lap. You've got to be careful through there. You try to use a bit, and a 32.9 is a very good time. Oh, it's beaten by a second from Thomas, but Freak on those mediums, that was a really, really good time from him to set. So where is Blood Diamond's now in second, with Liquid Gas now, which is Jack, in third. So Mr. Egg just starting his opening lap in the Aston Martin. And I think you'll all agree, under the lights, when we have these night races, just those lights make the car liveries pop that little bit more, gets them shining, and they do look absolutely gorgeous, especially that Aston Martin. I am a fan of that colour. Mr. Egg. Ooh, locked up, nearly hit the outside wall. In the front trotter, it's easy to do round there. Trying to spot the braking can be difficult. Trying to recover a little bit of his time. He's got a Red Bull ahead of him. Hopefully won't hamper him too much. As we come down the Las Vegas strip, DRS will be enabled halfway down the strip. He's trying to get a tow as the Red Bull is as well ahead. Both are moving out the way. A little bit of tow to help him use a lot of his deployment, and it's easy to use a lot of deployment round here. Not easy to actually harvest it as well. There's not many braking points, but it does use quite a bit of deployment on those long straights that we have here. And this one, the final run to the line, I think he's going to run out of deployment very, very soon. There he has, just before the final corner, where half the grid actually is, and he sets a good lap time of 32.5 into 7th. Monster sneaky put just in the pits. He's put a 32.5 in. That's a really good lap time. Only 2/10 off second as well, so he'll be happy with that as an opening banker with the Monster. So good luck from him. Down. Let's have a look. Hunter. He's on starting his first lap. A little bit. Ooh, tapped the wall as he's trying to set up for second. The second corner, that's going to hamper him. He went wide through there, really unsettled the car. This is it. People that had that practice session a little bit earlier, which has helped drivers get their eye in, where sometimes you're sort of coming into these qualifying sessions a little bit blind, and it does take a lap or two just to get yourself hooked up and get the braking points and adjust a little bit more. But with that practice session helping the drivers so they can attack very early on. As Hunter's very low on fuel. I wonder if he's under-fueled. He'll be able to do this lap, and then he may go in low fuel mode. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully he'll be okay. maxing out at 213 mile an hour down the strip. Ooh, took a bit too much curve, very sideways. Did not need that. That'll have lost him quite a bit of time, and he's got a lot of deployment left, but so he's using the last bit of it as much as he possibly can towards the line. It's a 32.4 from Hunter. I would say he's got a little bit of time in that. Look at this, Blood Diamond and Liquid Gas have both improved on their second laps. The cool down lap from both of them, followed by another flying lap. But Thomas still in command in the 30, the only driver in the 31 so far, as we're halfway through this qualifying session. We've got Monster on an out lap. He's just left the pits. Who else is on an out lap? Grimo a little bit further down. On the mediums this time round, so let's do an on-board lap with Mr. Goodman. So, we're going to take this run now towards the start-finish line. We've got clear track ahead of him, which will be nice. Takes it nicely. So, turn one, late braking, about the 70-metre board, gets it hooked up, keeps it in fourth to stop the ray from spinning out, keeps it to the middle of the track, then keeps left as we go to the right-hander of turn three, I should say. I do apologise. DRS wide open down Colval Lane. Little bump in the middle of the track, lots of those as we brake into turn 5, just after the 100-metre board. That's Caesar's Forum, nice a bit of the inside curve as well down Westchester Drive. The long turn 6, here it is. Spot your braking point for turn 7. There it is, round the Las Vegas sphere. You can see it on the left-hand side. There's turn 8, around that there, and we've got turn 9 around the elevated monorail. Little bit of the wall tap on the exit, but that's absolutely fine. Up Sands Avenue, or the Pig's Throat, as we like to call it. Turn 10, there it is. Still keeping left. There's a bump on the left-hand side, keeps well above his side, but then spot your braking again. Or just about gets it turned through turn 12 now then. Past Treasure Island, there's the Hard Rock on the right. We've also then got Harris and the Mirage on the right. There's Caesar's Palace and the Flamingos on the left. The RS is coming up very quickly. There it is. And Grimo going down the Bellagio fountains on the right-hand side. Can't quite see them. Well, you missed them. There we are. And then heavy braking. Turn 14, turn 15, round Planet Hollywood. And then good drive now towards the line. That was turn 16, down Harmon Avenue. And we go past Top Golf, and that might be it there with the spires on the right-hand side. That's turn 17, and he does a 1:32.6. Does improve on that medium tyre run. It was a good lap from Grimo. I think he might have a little bit more time in those mediums. But we'll see him, I'm sure, just cool it down, get that garbage out. He hasn't got much fuel, to be fair, so he may have underfueled that run. But just the difference in tyres, you can see they did improve quite nicely. And I'm sure we're going to see these drivers now, these times, they're going to see a few of them in the 1:31s. I wouldn't be surprised. And we mentioned a few of the drivers there, Thomas and Liquid Gas, about the strategy calls. Because around here, those walls are ever present. A slight mistake, lose the rear, even just tap a wall on exit, you can damage the front wing very easily, lose quite a few end plates, and then the car is going to behave really horribly. Where you need that front end grip, you need that turning, that confidence, the stability when you turn the wheel. Or if you're on a controller, you turn the toggle on your joypad. But you also need the rear to be there. You need it to rotate nicely through that little part there for everybody. And then just to get the power down as early as possible. It's very easy to light up the rears. And one thing, funny enough, Liquid Gas has said, a few drivers have given me a few of their thoughts as well, which we'll go through in due course of the season. But one of the things Liquid Gas said, and I race in a Williams as well in another league, and it's a characteristic I found personally, and that's on equal performance, but he said that the Williams is a strange one when it comes to using its tyres, that you have a lot of confidence, and as soon as the tyres begin to get a little bit of wear, even 12% onwards, the rear can easily just snap on you, and it comes out of nowhere. So it seems to be a characteristic of the car, and something Jack's noticed early on as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how he handles that, and so we've got a freak good improvement as well, good 6/10 improvement into the 32.3. Mons has bailed on his lap, so he's back into the pits. Next one on an out lap. Who's on a fast lap? Let's have a look. The man who finished second last season. He's up on his previous time by just under 0.2 of a second coming down the Las Vegas strip. Looked like he had a little bit of front end damage there, but not sure. Got a nice little toe from the Ferrari ahead of him. No end plate damage, just the light shining on the front right of that Williams. Takes a lot of the inside curb there. Really attacking. Trying to get the most out of it. This is a medium tyre run, so this could help improve. But Blood Diamond did improve to a 32.0. What can Jack do? And he does improve to 31.7 from Jack. That's a great improvement from him. He'll be very happy with that medium tyre improvement. Thomas hasn't left the pits yet for a second run. He's saving it till the last minute. We're going to cool down Mike. He's down on his previous time, doing another warm-up lap. You see bits of carbon fibre fly off the inside curbs there. Oh, it's top 4 for qualifying. I've just seen that in the Discord. Thomas has put it up. So the top 4 will start the race on the tyre for their fastest lap on. So at the minute we've got medium soft for the top 4, then everyone else below that has got free tyre choice. And for me, so far the standout is Dean in 7th, who's set at 32.4 on the hard tyres. That is very impressive indeed. So if he does come back out again on a softer set, that is going to be one to watch, I am sure, because the difference between the two tyres, the grip is going to be astronomical for him. So that is going to be definitely one we'll keep an eye on if he does leave the pits. But seems to be a lot of drivers trying to save tyres. A few of them have set up, you can see on the left-hand side, soft on 0 laps. So they are in the pits. They have set a fresh set of soft tyres ready, equipped to their car, ready to leave the pits in just a moment. It's like that. Oh, as Mike. Very leery indeed, and I wouldn't be surprised if he sort of bails on this lap time. Let's have a look through the second sector, see what his time is. He's 0.3 down on that one, so trying to play catch up a little bit. A lot of drivers are now leaving the pits. You can see him at the top there on the pig's underbelly at the end of sector 1, led by Vix Hunters, 4,000s behind Liquid Gas. What a great lap from him, but Thomas has left the pits, the reigning champion. Now then, out, he's ahead of the 2 Ferraris. Clear track for Thomas, important around here. But as well, if you get a little bit of a toe, this could play out for the driver behind, which I think is going to be Dom. It's going to be interesting as well this season. A lot of drivers have got new teammates as well, so this is going to be interesting to see how everybody uses their teammate, what they do in terms of... Oh, as Mike's pushing on, trying to do another lap. Hasn't got a lot of battery left, but that slide is really going to hurt him massively. We're just keeping our eye on... Thomas has let one of the Ferraris go. Oh, look, is it Dom? It was Dom. But now then, the fast laps, the final fast laps for Dom, for Thomas. Thomas is very close to the back of the Ferrari, must be said. He'll get a good toe, but at the same point, he's going to be hampered by the dirty air of that Ferrari. So this could hurt Thomas's qualifying after that incredible opening banker that he set early in the session. Let's have a look at Dom. How's he through the first sector? Coming into turn 5, nice and neat. He is up on his time, but he's got Thomas all over the back. Jack has just left the pits. Oh, there's a invalidation from Dom. Oh, that's heartbreaking. He's had to pull out the way, so now that's just free Thomas. Probably not what Thomas needed. He'd have been incited as Dom was struggling and invalidated his lap, and he wanted that toe, I would imagine, especially down the strip, and could have just unsighted him a little bit. How is Thomas on his lap? He's slightly down by half a tenth. It's going to be all or nothing now in this final sector. He does still set a personal best. In their purple sector, Hunter's seen the checkered flag, so has Mike. The best they will start is 2nd and 5th. Everyone else on fast laps. Unfortunately, Dom has invalidated. We'll keep with Thomas. Nice and steady. As we come out the final, well, I'm calling it the final corner, because the final corner, here it is, doesn't really exist in my eyes, I'm not going to lie. What can he do? It's a 31.9, no improvement for Thomas Best. He's going to be his 3rd. Blood Diamond is up on his previous time. This could upset everything. Blood Diamond, we said, he was very, very quick last season, had a lot of strong performances in qualifying as well. This could upset it. This could challenge pole position for the opening round of Season 10 here. He's going to run out of his battery in the run to the line, but is it going to be enough? It's 3rd. It's not quite enough. Where's Freak? Freak's up on his previous time as well. What can he do? Monster's in 4th. Great lap from him, a 31.8. That's fantastic from the Red Bull. Dean had said he was going to be quick. A 31.1. Wow. Wow, where did that go? Said he did his lap time on the hard tyres earlier, and it was an impressive lap time to say the least. A 31.1 from the kick. Albert Dean takes the pole position in the opening round of Season 10 by nearly 0.6 of a second from Liquid Gas. Hunter in 3rd, Blood Diamond in 4th. They will all start on the soft compound tyres. Monster in 5th will get tyre choice alongside Thomas next to him, then Freak, Mike, Taylor as well. And we'll go through the rest of the standings, but right at the death. Bit of a sleeper there from Dean, but what a lap time that was. Look at that, that was so close to the top. Oh, sorry, Liquid Gas did set his lap time on the mediums. I do apologise, he will start on those tyres. So again, the one with the offset in the top 4, so that's going to be very, very interesting indeed. Mike in 8th is where we got to. Vexman ahead of Grimo at the top 10. Then Lister Egg, Dom Walsh, who was up on his previous time, unfortunately invalidated his last run. And then GTR in the Mercedes will be in 13th on the grid. Well, that was a good end to qualifying, wasn't it, folks? Said we missed some of the racing, but wow, that was back with a little bit of a bang there. Has to be said. Liquid Gas setting that time on the mediums. It took 2 laps, I do believe, to do that. So a little bit of wear, maybe 5-6% potentially on those tyres. Well, everyone else does have to start on the soft, so watch for them off the line. Left-hander into easy to outbrake yourself in turn 1. And then, of course, turn 2. It half opens up on the exit to turn 2. Well, it's turn 3, sorry, turn 3 and 4. They're all called them, as they call double apexes round there. They are just pretty much one corner as you're taking them. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting start, I think, to this race, especially tyre choice from 5th down to 13th. As drivers now take a little bit of a breather, grab a drink, to see what beverage everyone has this evening. I'm on a beer. I haven't got my rum out yet, but I have beer and water, so I'm not going to be too drunk, so we're all good. We don't want to hear things like that on comms, of course, although, to be fair, probably good fun. When we're just taking a breather, getting their strategy set. If they change a few bits in parc fermé, such as the brake bias, the front wing angles, maybe potentially a bit of tyre pressure that they may need to get a bit more heat into the tyres. But while it's difficult, as the guys said in the pre-qualifying interviews, that it's difficult to get the heat into the tyres, but once you do, there's a few corners that you can overheat them a little bit too much, and it's just that balancing act. But down the straight, they really, really will. So who was that that's come in there? So in the first time chat, I'm not used to Twitch, I'm not going to lie, folks, so You had a chance for Paul, but backed out to start on the mediums. That's interesting. Not sure who that was. Yep, JC. Yep, Dean said the softs last no laps. Yeah, it's going to be a difficult one for 3 of the top 4 to use those, I do believe. Oh, Liquid Gas is coming as ourselves in that one. Thanks, Jack, for that one. Yeah, it's... you're right. I think mediums to hards are the preferred strategy. I wonder if we'll see anybody start on the hard compound tyres as well, especially with heavy fuel. If you're in the pack a little bit, if you can keep up on that DRS train, then it's going to be... It could really work in your favour, but we've got 25 laps around here. It's fast and it's furious. It's difficult. When the tyres start to go off, it can be very, very tricky to get the power down. It's going to be very, very smooth. You can really send the rear backwards into a wall very quickly. And again, just that understeer at the front end kicks in as well. So under braking, it's very, very tough and difficult around here to manage that, especially if you're in a train or you're trying to defend. But formation lap, here we are, folks. Let's have a look at those tyres. So it's Monster in 5th start on the mediums with Thomas. On the softs, then we've got a mix of mediums and hard runners. Only Vexman and Dom are on the hards. Everyone else on the mediums who've chosen that strategy. So it's going to be an interesting one, this, folks, especially with Thomas off the line. Expect to see him come through Monster very quickly. I would say off the start line. We know how fast he is. Jack's mentioned it to me just as well. I mentioned it, how quick Thomas is, and what a fantastic season he had last time out. So I'm sure he's going to be wanting to be up there once again and take another back-to-back championship. He's got his teammate currently on pole position, so it's going to be interesting to see how those two play and see how they work together, should it come to that. Because again, safety cars can be a hindrance around here. So reasonably quick formation lap. A lot of weaving, even from Dean on the soft tyres, trying to get some heat into them. Get them in that right window. But then, even though it doesn't show a graphic to show your tyre wear on this game in the formation app, you still can put a little bit of wear on the tyres. So you want to weave to get the heat in, but not take too much out of them. All the drivers now coming down the strip. Now we are the race strategies at the bottom. Some people may do that medium, hard, or the medium to hards. Even hard to mediums, the alternate, can work nicely. I mean, you could use the medium, hard, medium if you're going to the two-stop strategy, but again, safety cars ever present around here. Another street circuit, walls right next to the track, and we saw a few people tap those walls. No retirements as well in qualifying, which is really nice to see. Easy when everyone's pushing to get it slightly wrong and hit one of those barriers. Everyone now just lining up on the grid. Difficult if you're a bit further back, because you're going to be... as Listereg missed it, unfortunately. But, yeah, you're going to be on the corner there, and I think that's Grimo lining up in 10th. There he is. And now, folks, here we are. We have got 25 laps, round 1 of Season 10 MRS. And we go racing, and everybody's off. How's the start for Dean? It's a good start. Liquid Gas got a lot of wheel spin. He's been passed by Blood Diamond, and there's been contact. I think that was Thomas, and I think there's a McLaren went sideways as well through turn 1, but Vix Hunters through Liquid Gas has managed to recover, and he's in 3rd. Blood Diamond may have got caught up in some of that as well. He's just behind. There he is. Thomas got through a Monster, who's now under pressure from Freak. That's side by side into turn 5. There's heavy braking. Monster's on the inside. Freak gives him room. I think Freak's got the move done. He does. But because of all that, Dean got a fantastic start, and Dean's streaking away. 1.5 seconds already from Hunter. And Liquid Gas now trying to get the temperature and feel the grip and racing conditions in those medium tyres. Of course, only 1 lap before the DRS becomes enabled. And have we seen this before? Thomas, Blood Diamond and Liquid Gas together on track. Different colours this season for two of them, but together on track. Different tyres as well. It's going to be interesting to see how Liquid Gas plays this one with the two behind on the soft tyres. Thomas is, of course, a fresh, soft tyres. Dom and Vexman had a poor start. He's now down in 13th and 2.7 off the pack. It's going to be difficult round here, while everyone in slipstream and generally within DRS as well as Thomas goes very, very deep, but that's going to allow Freak a little bit of a sniff, and it's hurt Thomas because he's going to be outside of the DRS when it becomes available. But the main part is Blood Diamond. There he is off the back of the Williams. And is he going to try and have a look into the outside of turn 1? Not quite thought about it, but he's trying to do the switchback round through 2. He's gone the inside of turn 3 and turn 4. Jack's not going to give this one up, but they're both going to have the DRS. He heard it beep, but what a move from Blood Diamond. Wow, well, the outside of 3 and 4 did the switchback perfectly. And the soft tyres giving him that extra confidence, that extra bit of grip. But again, Jack's on the mediums, so he can afford to do that. Oh, I think that was a Red Bull. That could have been Monster just tapping the wall there. Hopefully no damage for him. Grimmore's getting through on Lister Egg and GTR. Dom Walsh has made some moves as well. I think there's a problem with Lister Egg. Oh, there is. There's big contact. That's Lister Egg. He's out to get himself round. There's damage. There's carbon fibre on there, but I'm not sure who off because you can't see anything there. I wonder who's got the damage. Oh, Vexman getting very sideways. Has Grimmore got damage? I can't actually see who it is. Well, definitely carbon fibre there on the track. Oh, that's a Ferrari. I think that's Dom. He's missing an M plate. So Grimmore desperate now to get past him. He's going to have the DRS there as well. But now look at this. Because of everybody fighting, Hunter has closed that gap to Dean to under a second. He hasn't got the DRS though. But I tell you what, Liquid Gas does. Liquid Gas, even though Blood Diamond had the DRS, Liquid Gas gets through. Back into third. Hunter is within that 1 second though. We'll get a little bit of a tour. I tell you what, Blood Diamond is not letting this one lie at all. Are we going to see another move into turn 1? Jack goes defensive. Blood Diamond takes the outside on. Is he going to try the switchback one more time? Jack goes middle of the track, cuts it off. Was wise to it this time. Monster's lost a place to Mike. Further back, they've dropped off 2.5 seconds off, but Thomas now just sitting there 7/10 back with Freak as well. Oh, that was big from Blood Diamond. Outbroke himself. There's been a big crash. He's got a drive through penalty, Blood Diamond with it, and he's hit. That was apologies, that was Hunter and Liquid Gas all got caught up in that, all got damage. Wow. That was huge. I don't think I've ever seen an incident like that. That was huge. Blood Diamond, as soon as he hit the brakes, the rear was completely and utterly backwards. Big swapper on it, and just no one could avoid it. Nothing anyone could do. Phil for Vix and Liquid Gas. That's hurt Liquid Gas probably more than the others because of the tyres. He's got Lister Egg. VS has got a drive through for speeding under the VSC. We are now going green. We had only a VSC, not a safety car for that one because everybody got moving again, but there's a big pile up there. And now Thomas, the 2 kicks, 1 and 2. Thomas was too far back. He got through it, so did Freak. And Mike and Monster said thank you very much. So Liquid Gas got a penalty as well. He got 10 seconds for that one. Blood Diamond got the drive through. Be interesting to see what the stewards will make of all this, because Jack will have to serve that, or will serve it in his pit stop. But that is not how he wanted his first stint, as he does have to pit Hunter as well. A lot of damage to the front end of that Ferrari. It's going to be interesting to see what Blood Diamond does. If it pits him or he does his drive through, we'll keep our eye on it and see. But top 2 now, both on the soft tyres, don't forget. Thomas is on the fresher ones. But sometimes the luck just falls your way, and it has for the champion. Well, drama already. 3 laps in to start of season 10. We've seen a major incident. Mike Taylor's got the first penalty for corner cutting. We saw him invalidate a lap. I think it was. It was Dom that invalidated a lap in qualifying. Sorry, Mike. I know your teammates last season. Apologies for that. A lot of gaps forming now. Vexman's quite close to Dom. Freak is now close to the back of the two kicks. And the interesting part about that is he is on the medium tyres. So Thomas gets through on his teammate, had the DRS. Down the Las Vegas strip. Yeah, Blood Diamond still has to serve his drive through. I'm sure he has to serve that within 3 laps. It'll be 2 laps now. Otherwise he will risk a disqualification from this race. So I mean, that's horrible. Lister Egg served his drive through. That's why he is down there in 11th. Hunter has had to pit. So has Blood Diamond and Liquid Gas. That's why they are where they are. They're coming down the Las Vegas strip. And you can see in the bottom right of your screens. But yeah, what an opening few laps that was. So some good racing and offset of tyres. And now that incident has really thrown this race open. Are we going to see a 1-2 from the kick boys? What can Freak do? I think on his MRS debut, he's on the mediums. He's just going to be okay. I've got the pace here. I've got the grip underneath me for the next, I would say, 5-6 laps, maybe a bit more if you can eke them out. And that's going to be what he's looking at, where he's going to see how long will these soft tyres last for the boys ahead of him. And what are the kicks going to do? Who's going to pit first? Is there any team orders? Because they're not going to be in a party, these boys, because Dean, I do believe, is on a PC rather than the PlayStation. I've just seen the things on the side, so I do apologise. He's not, so he could be in the party, so they'll be talking and working out who's going to pit first and try and do a strategy while Freak is there listening in, I'm sure. Not saying anything, but just calculating everything as he's gone it to have a look. Had to back out late. I think he got caught with the overspeed. Had to back out. He's cost him quite a bit of time. Let's have a look on board. And Thomas is the first one to pit. He was leading, so he probably got the first call. And that's surprising because he was on fresher tyres than Dean, but maybe he's just used that little bit more. Maybe he wasn't feeling the grip. So that allowed Dean, but Freak has dropped off the back just outside that 1 second window, and he's gone round to the exit turn 2. Oh, and I think he nearly clipped Mike as he came through. There's Grimo, there's Monster. Grimo got a good through. Freak got 10 seconds. He did tap Mike Taylor and got a 10-second for that collision as he was reversing, trying to get the car spun round. Wow, more drama as Monster. I don't know what happened to Monster. Grimo's had a really good opening stint. Very, very good. Monster has got end plate damage. That may be what's causing the little bit of drop in pace at this moment in time. Oh, he gets a little bit sideways. Gets the car stopped. Rhea again complaining on the Red Bull. But Freak, yeah, that's hard for Freak. He was looking very, very strong, but that's giving a relief to Dean, I'm sure. Mike's got 3 seconds. Freak we must be on very severe penalties this season, because we didn't seem to see this many last season. Blood Diamond has now served his drive-through. He is now in 13 seconds off the back of Liquid Gas. So we've got Monster and Grimo been racing together a lot, quite a few years now. I would say 4 or 5 years. Know each other's racing very well. Monster just struggling to get that car turned with that front end damage, but it's going to be interesting to see when everybody pits. So Dean does pit. Mike's going to take the lead of the race. He was the last Dean on the medium, on the soft tyres. Oh, Monster's struggling even through the final corner there to get the car turned at speed where the load is needed on the outside of that front wing. It's going to be interesting to see if he gets that changed under the pit stops. Will cost him quite a bit of time. Let's have a look now at those tyres. There we are. Vexman and Dom on the hard tyres, but Thomas has gone to those. Dean has come out not far behind, actually. Which maybe shows the warm-up that those have had, and Thomas already made it through on Dom, those fresher hards that are just starting to work a little bit more. He's had the lap on them, get the heat into them now, and can push on. But everyone now, those guys on the hards at the 6 laps in should be feeling okay. But of course we've got Dean, again, very quick driver. That's why he's in the kick. But this is not good news for Liquid Gas at all, even it is only round 1, but Oh, I think Monster's had a moment somewhere and he's very, very slow. Grimo got past early on, and I think Freak's now done the same as well coming into the Las Vegas Strip. Who's going to have the DRS? I think it will be Monster. Off the back it is. Off the Aston, but the Aston keeps to the left, just to avoid giving a little bit of tow to the Red Bull, who's got his teammate now. Different strategy behind him. On the hards is Vexman. But it is a difficult race, this one. I can't believe we've seen the incidents that we've seen, the penalties we've seen already. So Hunter, when he pitted, of course, he's now gone for, had that damage, he's now gone for another set of the medium tyres. So that's an interesting one. And it's interesting that GTR and Lister pitted very early as well with their incident that they had damage. So they went for the mediums as well. So that everyone's going to have to pit again for that. Vexman's still on course for a one-stop strategy. Also now trying to keep with the Aston Martin. But it's going to be interesting to see what the difference now in speed between the mediums and the hard tyres are. Because this is now the crossover point between them, you would say, between Vexman and the cars ahead. But Thomas as well, with his teammate right up the back. You can see there in the back of your screen, just at the back of the shot before we cut away, the two Kick Saubers, bright green livery, the Hulkmobiles as I call them. Liquid Gas has closed down on Lister Egg, so he's now pushing on, trying to salvage some points this evening, trying to go probably as long as he can on the hard tyres. His strategy slightly scuppered. He did start in the mediums, but they were slightly worn from qualifying. But he would like to go a little bit longer than that. He was keeping up with the soft tyre runners, and of course that bit of damage that he had with that collision with Blood Diamond and Hunter, you'd have to say innocent bystanders. Unfortunately, Blood Diamond losing the rear under braking, outbroke himself massively, and unfortunately Liquid Gas and Hunter innocent in that one, although Hunter got 10 seconds for it. Blood Diamond got the drive-through penalty. Sorry, Hunter didn't, it was Liquid Gas that got the 10 seconds. Not sure how, but who knows what this game does when it comes to penalties, even the damage as well. But we are seeing a few end plates go missing this evening. And Freak did exactly what we talked about early on. That rear just starting to slide on the cars just at random points, and if you're in quite a low gear, I found around turn one, that's what can happen. The revs get too high, there's too much torque going through the rear of the car, and it can slide around. We saw a few drivers use fourth gear through turn 1 and 2, and that just sort of keeps the revs down just that little bit, trying to keep the speed, the momentum going, which seems to be the best way. Vexman now is closing on the back of third and fourth, with Dean, who's past his teammate, just probably using each other with the DRS to pull themselves along. That's Monster with the DRS. But that Aston Martin, very, very quick in a straight line. Even with DRS, Monster could not find a way through, so Freak has got that car set up for these straights now to help defend. But that is allowing Vexman, is hurting Monster, because Monster needs to get through. He's got that damaged as well. Just going to see what he does with his teammate coming up quickly behind him. And he's got the two Kick Saubers. Of course, the top 5 haven't pitted yet. They'll come out around Liquid Gas, I would imagine, around that point when they decide to pit, which I'm sure we'll see that pit window open in the next couple of laps, especially for the medium tyre runners. I think Vexman will go that little bit longer, may go to about lap 14, lap 15, and try a set of the medium tyres towards the end. But Mike's holding Grimo very well. You've got that 3-second penalty, Mike, but holding the gap to Grimo nicely at over 3 seconds. Freak under pressure now from Monster and his teammate Vexman, now on the Las Vegas Strip. But look at that, it's not just Vexman, it's Dean, it's Thomas. The Kicks have joined the party. And here comes Dean already through on Vexman. Got the better drive, the fresher tyres working nicely. Monster has got the move done this time round. But is Freak going to be vulnerable? It's not, but Dean late on the brakes. Got the car stopped. How on earth did he do that? Look at the way he's getting that car turned. The grip and the confidence that Dean has got. Oh, and we've got some people pitting ahead. I think that's Monster, the first one to pit. It is. Monster's build on his medium tyres. So that's going to be interesting when that comes to the battle with Freak. But Dean now, oh, look at Freak getting sideways. Dean having to take a little bit of avoiding action, keeping careful. Thomas also got through on Vexman as well. Those fresher tyres working nicely. Look at the drive that he's got. There's the Aston Martin. There was the Aston Martin. There he is now behind. But look at this. Thomas is also going to try around the outside on the braking. Thinks better of it. Into turn 5. Oh, a little bit of a tap there from Dean on the wall. That should be okay if it was the side wall of the tyres. But it's not something you really want to be trying to do very often, I must admit. That can go horribly wrong at any moment. Monster has come out just ahead of Liquid Gas. We've got 7 laps on his tyres. Monster just new front wing for him. So he'll just be getting the feel for these hard tyres, getting the temperature in them. Don't want to push too hard too soon, because that's where the rear can go on you. You can easily outbrake yourself, get that understeer that we talked about early on. Freak struggling now on those mediums, but it's going to be interesting because Monster had a little bit of a longer pit stop due to changing the front wing. Where's he going to come out in regards to Freak? Freak does have that 10-second penalty though, so we could see Monster come out ahead, and if he can stick with Liquid Gas, use him just to pull himself along a little bit. Mike Taylor, our leader, does pit. Grimo from second also pits, so now the kicks retake 1 and 2. But we're going to see if they can make their tyres go to the end, or if they will have to pit again. Oh, GTR, 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. That's horrible to do. So Vexman's also stayed out. He's done 10 laps on those hard tyres, but he's looking to go as long as he can. Let's go back to those tyres actually, because Dom also hasn't pitted. He's nearly 11 seconds back off Vexman, but Mike now actually has come out the pits and he's got through. So Mike, 4th on the road, 4th on merit as well. That may become 3rd after Vexman pits, but Vexman will be on quicker tyres towards the end of this race. So I mentioned Mike was, early on he had good races in that Red Bull last season, and now in the McLaren he's got another fast car. So let's hope he has the good luck to come with the papaya machine. Almost through on Hunter, who's going to have to pit again, but Lucas is sort of closing down a little bit, and Monster is sticking with him, doing what he needs to do. The tyres will start to come in nicely now for Monster, so you'll start to know where the grip is. And it should be quite consistent for him, but if he can just keep up with Jack, we know he's a very, very quick driver. 2nd last year in the championship, number of wins as well. A little bit of bad luck, you'd have to say, including tonight. So being 8th, he'll be happy with that to get some points and looking to really push on. Maybe hoping for a little bit of luck later on as well, especially if he has to pit again, which I'm sure he will do. It would be hard work to keep those. Oh, I think Monster went a little bit deep there. Lost a little bit of time, but he's still within what would be DRS. Are getting a nice little tow just outside at this moment in time. Needs to close that gap back up to Liquid Gas, otherwise it may get dropped, because that gap with VX is really closing down. Less than 5 seconds now, so Monster needs to get a bit of a hurry on to get with Jack and scramble some good points for him. Vexman's just dropping off the back, but Mike now is going to start to close down Vexman, trying to pull away from Dom, which he has done. He's outside of the DRS at this moment in time. Just the top 2 are the only 2 in the DRS window of each other, which there have been since Thomas got through, and then got that bit of luck on lap 3 with the collision ahead of him. And now those 2 just going to trade places once more, pull themselves along. But this is now just waiting to see what Vexman and Dom do in terms of their pit strategy. What about Hunter? When will he pit again? What will Liquid Gas do? When will he pit? What about Blood Diamond as well? Don't forget they're the ones who had to stop on lap 3. Different tyre strategies were used. But Liquid Gas started on the used mediums as well. There's Dom. He's bailed after 12 laps on the hards. That's a bit shorter than I would have imagined. That releases Grimo, and he's got Hunter for company as well. But yeah, I'm surprised Dom didn't take that a little bit longer. He might have got about 13, 14 laps, but he's gone for the mediums. They should last him to the end. 11 laps to go after this one. Won't be feeling too good, but he'll be okay, I'm sure. Now Hunter starts on the soft tyre, so he could go mediums at any point towards the end, but he's still closing down Grimo, who's only pitted 2 laps ago, so he's just still getting the feel and the heat into the hard tyres. Not as much grip, of course, especially around here. We said how much they struggle to get the temps in and keep the heat in those tyres. But Mike is now closing down quite quickly to Vexman. He's now only 8 seconds. That gap was 10 only a lap or so ago. So Mike absolutely flying on Vexman, where his tyres will be crying out that little bit now. Monster has closed the gap to Liquid Gas quite nicely by a good 6-7 tenths of a second. So that's good news for the Red Bull man. It's what he needs to get dragged along as much as he possibly can, because they are closing. There they are in the background, on the right hand side of your screen, folks, and they are closing down this battle where Hunter's going to have to pit again. Liquid Gas and Grimo, teammates last season. It's interesting. Jack is good on his tyres. There's Vexman, does pit from third. Surely they will be the medium tyres that he will use now to the end. It is the mediums indeed. But interesting to see where he comes out. He's trailing there down the pit lane. Where is Liquid Gas? Where is Monster? Where is Vexman going to come out? We'll go on board with Monster. Where's his teammate? There he is. There's Vexman right behind his teammate. Faster tyres. Monster's a very good team player, must admit. We'll see how that plays out for the Red Bull boys as this battle progresses. Once Vexman will surely very quickly get the heat into those mediums, I'll start to close down. But now this is interesting. See what then, if Vexman and Monster then begin to work together when Hunter and probably Liquid Gas will pit again. So that's going to be what they can do. We could see some good points from the Red Bulls. It'll probably be a bit of a relief as well. Don't forget GTR has got that penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and Mike has got 3 seconds as well, the only track limit penalty we've got so far this evening. Yeah, Vexman's starting to close down a little bit, just outside the DRS on this lap. I'm sure that will close very, very soon. Well, it depends what Grimo can do now as well about Mike Taylor, because Mike's got that 3-second penalty. It's interesting to see what they can do. It's also going to be interesting to see what Thomas and Dean can do with their tyres, because don't forget, yes, they are back leading and swapping positions like it's nobody's business. But look at the length of time they've been on the tyres. They started on the soft tyres. They pitted around 6, I think it was, lap 6, give or take. So it's been green flag as well, apart from that virtual safety car. So they've not had anything. Dom, wow, good lap from him. Fresh mediums, he sets the fastest lap of the race, down in 12th. But if Dean and Thomas can take their tyres to the end, that is going to be key. They will have medium tyres available. So they're going to be quick, but they're going to be coming out probably around this Liquid Gas battle, who's closing on Hunter very, very quickly indeed. So they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, especially with the Red Bulls there as well, if they would pit soon. As they're swapping again under DRS. All they're doing, just swapping under DRS, as you'll see it at the top quite regularly, as we have done. Just helping pull each other along, not getting in each other's way. It's a really good team play from the Kick Saubers. But then what about the Red Bulls? But you'd think at this point, Vexman on the fresh medium tyres should have a bit more grip than Monster. Still only 5 laps, but the Ferrari of Hunter has now cried enough on the mediums. His second stop of the evening. Just to see what he goes on. Blood Diamond, 3 seconds. He's in 11th. He's not had the race that he wanted. He's had to pit early. He may have to pit again. Difficult one for him. GTR's pit. Didn't get the speed and time this time, but he'll have to serve that penalty. But now it's interesting to see what Liquid Gas can do with his tyres, how far he can take them. Because Hunter's going to be quick on those mediums. Keeping an eye on Mike Taylor's gap as well. He's got 3-second penalty. He's pulled a little bit more time to Grimo in 4th behind him. Now at 5 seconds, so that 3-second penalty not counting at the moment. But it's down to the top 2. Can they just nurse their tyres to the end of the race? Should be able to, in theory. They've got that buffer of nearly 14 seconds. That'll actually be 17. Vexman does go through on his teammate. I think Monster just got outside of the DRS of Liquid Gas, so let his teammate through. Let him go after the Williams, who's probably going to be struggling a little bit for grip, but Jack's going to probably try and do a similar thing. There's a gap of 10 seconds down to Freak. Now Freak is on fresher hard tyres, of course. Dom with a 3-second penalty. That's the 3rd now penalty we've seen in terms of track limit warnings. But this is the gaps that we need to look at. Vexman didn't waste any time. He's got past Liquid Gas. Those mediums working very, very nicely indeed for him. Now up into 5th. It's going to chase down the V-carb of Grimo in 4th place. But then what's Jack going to do about that? We've still got Monster as well behind. Look at the difference in tyres as well, folks. I wonder if Liquid Gas is just going to try to eke this out as best he possibly can. He'll still have enough grip. He seems confident enough. Looks okay on throttle, looks very smooth. The rear doesn't seem to be complaining too much. Tell you what, Mike is closing down. He's took a second out the top 2. There's a yellow flag further back. I think that might have been Blood Diamond, I think it was. Or one of the Ferraris. But Liquid Gas, are you going to try and have a look at the Red Bull? Oh, thinks better of it. Wasn't quite close enough that time round. They've been sort of stable at the minute. The gap has come down to Grimo, so Vexman pulling Liquid Gas and Monster along, which is lovely for Monster. Definitely what he wants, and so does Liquid Gas as well, because we've got that gap 11.7 to Freak behind. So if Jack's tyres do go off 15 laps on the hards, and we've still got another 6 after this one to go, so that'll be an incredible stint from him. If he manages to do that, then he will lose a lot of time, but it's just how much time will he lose? You're talking a good 2 seconds lap as it stands to Freak to stand a chance of gaining that position off. But Blood Diamond has retired. Where is that? That's in the pits, unfortunately, for Blood Diamond. Heartbreak for him. Really tough race. That incident on lap 3 just cemented the poor result for him. Not one he's going to want to remember, but he'll forget this one. It's only first race of the season. Don't forget. That gap at the front, still just the top 2 doing what they need to do. And Mike, about 13 seconds. He's closed it a little bit to the top 2. Jack's still looking very, very racy when it comes to... Wow, look at that. There he goes. Got the top speed of that Williams working very nicely indeed under the DRS. So those hard tyres for Jack. Still holding on nicely. I think we'll see this battle go down to the end. And it's going to be interesting as well, I think, what order the top two are going to finish in. That's going to be something that's going to be interesting. They've been swapping places every lap so far. But Mike sort of hovering, the gap with Grimo hovering as well. But because these guys are fighting behind, this is... Ooh, Vexman a little bit deep into the front trotter. Section of this Las Vegas circuit getting very squirrely on the power. But that is just allowing Grimo this bit of reprieve. They're not closing down the gap as they were earlier on because of the battling that they have to do. And that edge of the tyres that they had as well, that Vexman especially had over Grimo, now sort of null and void. It's disappeared away from him. So we're going to see liquid gas come flying through again. I'm sure we will. Once more. No, just sitting there. Okay, where he is at the minute. Swords Monster just doing what he needs to do. Doing things very well indeed. And that gap with Freak is now at 12 seconds, so that hasn't come down at all, which will give a bit of reprieve to Jack, I'm sure, on his 17 now lap old hard tyres. Dom with another 3 seconds. That'll lose the place to Hunter. This is the main gap on the track at the moment. We've got the two Ferraris close quarters cars. Dom now with that 6 second penalty, sorry. Blood Diamond had another penalty, but fortunately DNF'd in the pit lane. Sorry about that, pressed the wrong button by accident. Do apologise. So two Ferraris, very close quarters. Hunter coming back into ninth, so he'll score a couple of points. Double points finish for the Ferraris at the minute, double points for the Red Bulls and the Kicks as it stands. Big Glass and Vexman, there we go, once more. But I tell you what, Monster's looking a little bit closer as well. Where is the other Red Bull? There he is. Is he just going to sit behind his teammate? Is he going to sneak and have a look? He's just going to sit there and let his teammate have another go at the Williams ahead. And it's not just a battle of overall speed and tyres, this one, folks. This is a battle, a chess match of the ERS. Blood Diamond, his foot slipped off the brake, lap 3. Apologise to everybody. Okay, fair enough. It happens. I've actually had similar things on throttles, to be honest, mate, so I can understand that completely. Had that in the past. But there we go, we're back racing again next week. But there we go, Vexman gets good traction from turn 4 through 5, and you know it's a shorter straight, quite a lot shorter than, of course, the Las Vegas strip. Let's drag now with a 3 second penalty in 11th. But yeah, Vexman gets very good traction through there, and it seems to work very well, that Red Bull, through the opening couple of corners, and has made that move back on liquid gas a few times now. The top two trading places again on the Las Vegas strip. I know we haven't looked at them for a while. Let's go to the top two. There they are. Flying formation, nose to tail. A lot of trust that they've got racing that closely, lap after lap. But doing everything that they just need to do. Done a very, very good stint on these tyres. Don't forget they started on the soft tyres as well, so that to the hards to keep them going. So is Jack as well, must be said. He's got back through on Vexman, probably down the strip as well. But are we going to see Dean take his teammate once again? No, not this time round, he's not. He's going to keep it for the strip, I'm sure. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the order that these two decide they're going to finish in. Are we going to see a teammate battle? Like the Mercedes days of old, 2016 seems to ring a bell. Well, we had this many races, many times. Vexman and Liquid Gas still battling. Vexman again, that run to turn 5. Oh, a little bit of a tap on the wall. That'll be his rear tyre though, so he'll be okay with that one. It will have hurt his drive, but it's quite narrow through there, so no way through for Liquid Gas on this occasion, but was pushing the Red Bull through that section of track. And this is the battle that we're sticking with, folks, because this is good points on offer for these, and Monster is still just doing a good job, just sitting there, looking after his ERS, looking after some tyres as well. Very smart race from him, must be said. Are we going to see Liquid Gas make another move? I think we are. Pulled out already alongside the Red Bull. Goes to the dirty side of the track, but there we are. Already done pretty much before the DRS was enabled. As the top two will start their penultimate lap. Dean has taken his teammate. Mike's just held that gap. It's now down to the low 12s, 12.2 seconds. But held it with Grimo. Grimo on his own, a lonely race there in 4th, but a really good race nonetheless. Let's look at those position changes. He's up 6 from his starting position in 10th. So a really strong race. Got lucky as well, one of those like Mike did, and Thomas benefited from that incident early on. And he's just had a very clean race. That one stop working for him, as it did for Mike as well. Who's closing that gap. The tyres a lot fresher, of course, on Mike, but with the two having that DRS train between them. Oh, there's a yellow flag. Who is it? Oh, it's Monster. Broke himself into turn 5. Hopefully no damage to the Red Bull. There isn't. But if he can keep on going, just keep his cool for the next lap and a half, he will still cement that 7th place. Down 2 from starting in 5th. Vexman up a couple of spots as well. He's had a good race, but now it's a 2-horse battle now between Liquid Gas and between Vexman on the last, well, penultimate lap. We're going down the Las Vegas Strip. Very good, more nice race from him. Same with Mike Taylor as well. Been a very lot of good races. Hunter, not the one he would have wanted. Freak just couldn't get that, made that mistake. Unfortunately, he could have been up there. I am sure he had wing damage and then a 10-second penalty as well. So but there you go, Vexman now. What can he do? Can he push away? Jack went a little bit deep around Planet Hollywood, and he's got 9/10 of a second now. Vexman, this is the part of the circuit that he's been quick on, lap after lap, and made moves back on Liquid Gas. Now, has he got the grip left in the final lap of the race? Can he get enough of a gap over Jack to help defend down the strip? Because Jack's got the DRS. Jack's going to be closing. But has he got the grip? Has Jack got the grip? Those hard tyres are not going to be feeling good. 21 laps. That's incredible from him. But Jack does get the toe. Jack does close up that little bit more. And as well, before we look at those two, we're going to have to look at the top two, the kick Sauers in tandem. Are we going to see us change of position? Are we going to see Dean take his teammate? I think we might do, you know, folks. Is it going to be Dean? He started on pole position, got a lightning start away with everyone, the carnage and everyone battling behind. And Thomas came through and closed the gap, but Dean gets the move done, and I think it's going to be Dean that's going to take the first win of the season. Started on pole, and he exits, well, I'm going to call it the final corner, and the run to the line. He beats his teammate over the line into kick Sauber 1-2. Perfect result from them. What a fantastic race that has been. Mike is going to come through, but we're going to look at Liquid Gas, who got the DRS on Vexman. He got the run, and I think it's Liquid Gas is now going to take 5th. It is Mike with a fantastic 3rd place. He's going to be over the moon with that one. Grimo is going to take 4th. He'll be happy as well with that. Liquid Gas. He's got Vexman all over the back on the run to the line. Is Vexman going to try and go around the outside? It's going to be so close. Has he got it? He hasn't. 5,000ths of a second. That is the closest finish between two of them I think I've ever seen. Monster does take 7th, and good points for him. Hunter recovers and takes 4 points in 8th, ahead of Freak in 9th. Dom is going to take the final points in the Ferrari, and then we're going to wait for Lister Egg to come home in 11th. GTR will be in 12th, and that might swap due to penalties. But there's Lister Egg. GTR in the Mercedes does take that position from Lister Egg. That was good fun, folks, wasn't it? Driver of the day is Grimo from the game. But, I mean, I don't know who to give that to. To be perfectly honest, you can't really argue with it. It was a very, very good race from Grimo. Indeed. But we saw some fantastic recovery from Jack. Yeah, he's happy with that recovery. Not surprised at all. Great pace that he showed. Do 21 laps on those hard tyres was very, very strong indeed. As you watch the podium celebrations with the kicks, take 1 and 2, they are going to be a formidable force, I think, this season. The pace that they've shown this evening is absolutely incredible. Dom does get an extra point, actually, because he finished in the top 10 in the end with the fastest lap of the race. But there we go. Before stewards inquiries, we have got Dean ahead of his teammate in the kicks. Elvis Mike with a great third position. Grimo ahead of Liquid Gas. Then the two Red Bulls of Vexman and Monster. The lead Ferrari Hunter in 8th. Freak in 9th. And Don Walsh in 10th. Then we got GTR, Lister Egg. And unfortunately, Blood Diamond did not finish. My drive of the day? There's so many drives out there, guys. I think, no one can be disheartened with any of that. Monster, little mistake at the end, but a good race, solid race from him. Vexman from 9th, good race with Liquid Gas. That stint Liquid Gas had on the hards, definitely up there. And then we've got, of course, Vexman battling on and battling hard as well. Good places within Grimo and Mike as well. So I can't give it to one driver. I've got to give it to them all. I think we've had some fantastic racing. And that is just the season opener. I'm exhausted. I'm sure that a lot of the drivers are as well. But thank you, everybody, for watching. We're going to be here in 7 days' time. So join us on Twitch. Don't forget to follow us and subscribe. Do the same on our YouTube channel as well. But until then, folks, thank you very, very much for watching. And good night.